Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Pits of Motorcast. It's your host, Dave. I got online a special guest, Joe Beach. How's it going, Joe?
Good, man. How about you?
I'm good. So, Joe, how did you get to, start running with the Pro E85 guys?
I got my car put together a few years ago. I think this is the third year on the car, and I was running with a gasser group, and I always kind of watched the Pro E85 guys. We were at the same events, saw how fast they ran, what a cool group it was. Kind of felt like my car fit in pretty good with the group. Just wasn't quite fast enough until recently. Over the winter, I made the switch to E85, kind of with that avenue in mind of running with the Pro E85 guys, and then was able to get the thing running well enough where I was able to be competitive and just went for it.
That's cool. So, what's the quickest time you'd have since you got faster?
Well, I haven't cranked it really all the way up yet. It's got a lot more in it. So far, it's gone 865 at 156 miles an hour.
Cool. Tell us a little bit about your car.
Pardon me?
I said, tell us a little bit about your car.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about the car?
Oh, I'm sorry. My phone was breaking up a little bit. Car's a 56 Chevy. It's a back half car. It's got a stock, front suspension, everything on it to fit the rules of the Pro E85 group. It's got a 540 in it with an 871 blower, dual carburetors, over 400 trams, yellow and white.
Nice. Now let me ask you this question. How did you get involved in drag racing? How did it all begin?
Well, my family's been involved in drag racing for quite a while. My dad drag raced when he was younger, and then drag raced. Started back up with it when I was a teenager. We had a 68 Chevelle, a nitrous car that we ran, then moved into a 70 Camaro that was much lighter, another nitrous car that we ran for a while. I've got an uncle and a cousin that were big time into drag boats for a while, so they were a pretty big inspiration to jump into drag racing.
Nice. So what year did you actually begin drag racing?
I started drag racing probably would be about 6 years ago.
Now, what was the first car you drag raced in?
It was a 58 Chevy, gasser style car. Actually belongs to my dad. He owns that one and a 37 Chevy. He raced the 58 for a while, and then kind of parked it, got into the 37, which is a little faster. And it just kind of sat for a while. And one day he told my brother and I, why don't you guys take the 58 out and run with us? So we took him up on it and traded off driving the car. Got hooked on it.
No, your dad still drag racing?
He does. Yeah, he does. He's got a 37 Chevy, a gasser style car. Uncle Sam, there's the name of it. Painted red, white, and blue, stars and stripes.
Oh yeah, I've seen him running at the Grove before. Yep. Now, you said your brother races too, right?
Yeah, my brother's still driving the 58. We got tired of kind of trading back and forth, driving duty on it and everything. So decided that one of us was gonna build our own car. And opportunity along, I found the right car and jumped at it and started driving mine. And then he took over full time in the 58.
Nice. So now besides your dad being inspirational to you to start drag racing, any other drag racers out there that are inspirational to you?
Yeah, I mentioned my uncle and my cousin earlier. My cousin Scott Lumbert drove Top 2 Hydro drag boat for a long time. Was actually a world champion in that. Got hurt in a crash a couple of years ago. He's always been someone I've really looked up to as a hero and inspiration and things like that.
Now, how about any national guys, like NHRA or anything like that?
I'm a huge Tim Wilkerson fan. I love the fact that he drives the car, tunes the car. Independent guy. Kind of a personal hero of mine for sure.
All right, now when you take the Chevy out to race, who are your crew members?
Crew members. My wife is with me at all times, Stephanie. Got to give shout out to her and some thanks to her for everything she's done to make this possible. My son William is there with us as well, helping work on the car. My son Eric goes with when he's able to. Got another guy, Donnie Little, that helps tune the car and everything. Been a gigantic help. When they're available, my dad and brother are right there jumping in when they're not running their own cars, helping me out.
All right, now the first time you ever drag race going down the track, how was the experience like for the first time?
When I was a kid, my buddy Donnie Little would help me with the car. He had a little Monza. It was like a pro stock style car. Ran pretty deep into the sevens. It was a fast car.
Right.
He hurt the motor in it, and we helped him put a motor in it. He brought it over to the shop, my dad's shop, and put a motor in it. And we went out in the driveway and did a quick hole shot. He let me kind of sit in the passenger seat and that feeling of getting set back in the seat and the G-force. I had honestly forgotten what that truly felt like until the first time I let go of the trans brake in that 58 and got set back in the seat myself. And then had to do all the driving duties on top of that. It was that's the thing that sticks with you the most, is the way it puts you back in the seat and holds you there.
Now, do you still get that feeling to this day?
I kind of gotten a little bit numb to it over the years, all the launches and everything. It doesn't feel quite like it did, but there's still absolutely nothing like it.
All right, now, do you currently have any sponsors for the car?
I don't have any real official sponsors. My dad has helped me out a ton with the car. He owns a body shop in Aurora, Illinois, Ted's Body and Paint. I've got an engine guy that's helped me tremendously, Skip, at R&R Engineering in Addison, Illinois. He's done a ton of motor work on the car. Can't count the number of times he's dropped everything he's got going on to fix something that I broke, so that I can make the next race.
All right, now thinking about fixing and braking, what goes into preparation to get this car ready for a race weekend?
We pay a lot of attention to the valve train on the car. Over the years, I'd say the biggest issues I've had that have led to bigger issues are valve train problems. So we definitely pay a lot of attention to valve lash, making sure everything is copacetic in there. Other than that, it's kind of looking everything over, keeping track of the runs, making sure you keep up on the maintenance with things like oil changes and things like that, making sure everything is tight, not having any cracks and hind joints or anything like that. I've seen a lot of guys, crash their cars over things like that, losing a hind joint and having a ladder bar come out. So definitely pay a lot of attention to that stuff. Other than that, it's pretty much filling up fuel jugs on Friday night, making sure there's enough air in the tires, filling up the air tank, just making sure everything is ready and packed up and all that good stuff, so we're ready to rock and roll on Saturday morning when we get to the track.
So what are some of your favorite tracks to run on?
I've run on a lot of tracks, actually. Before I went with the E85 group, I was running with a Gasser group, which I still do a little bit with them. Through that, we've had a chance to run, Gateway in St. Louis, Byron in Illinois, Union Grove, Cordova. Also done Central Illinois Dragway down in Havana, Illinois, which is a pretty cool little 8-mile track. It's pretty hard to pick a favorite. I've had a lot of good memories at Union Grove. I probably run there the most, so I probably have to say that's my favorite place to be.
That was the Midwest Gassers, right?
I run with the Midwest Gassers and then run with the Nostalgia Gassers as well. Do a lot of events with them. We do the World Series of Drag Racing at Cordova, which is an incredible event. I put the small tires on it to run the Meltdown Drags at Byron, Illinois. A few other events here and there with it. It's a cool thing because when we do that, when we go to those events, I get to run with my dad and my brother, which is really fun.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. So now, do you only do quarter mile, or have you done 8th mile too?
Mostly quarter mile. When we go to Central Illinois Dragway down in Havana, that's an 8-mile track. So when we're down there, we'll run 8th mile. Also did 8th mile the day the timing system went down at Union Grove, and we did the flag start Cases of Race thing.
Right.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, I was there for that one. Yep, the Nitro Streetcar Brawl.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the thunderstorm night before the lightning struck it.
Yeah, at first it was kind of bummed out. Oh no, we might not get to race, and then the plan came together to do that. And I'll be honest with you, I'm so glad that the timing system was down because that was so much fun.
Yeah, when I was just doing the interview with Frank today, he said he had a lot of fun too. He said he wouldn't mind doing.
I was looking for Frank in the final on that one. I got beat in the semis. Would have had Frank in the final had I left a little sooner.
He said he wouldn't mind doing the flag racing again sometime.
Me too, absolutely.
Now, where do you get all your fire safety equipment from?
Multiple places. We deal with VSI. They're called Meyer Performance now, out of Hammond, Indiana. Buy a lot of stuff from them. Buy a lot of stuff through Summit, things like that.
All right, now, do you ever take the Chevy out to car shows?
Every once in a while, I try to do a couple of them a year. It's a little bit of a project for a car show, to get the truck all hooked up and the load leveler bars and all that on it, and load and unload the car and all that. But yeah, a couple times a year is definitely fun. We did the autism car show thing at the Blue Top Drive-In in Indiana. About a month ago, a few weeks ago, something like that. That was a lot of fun, being able to unload, kind of drive them on the street for a couple of blocks and cruise into the place, make a lot of noise, put on a pretty good show.
Now, is that the same autism thing that Frank did?
Yeah, Frank was there too. He just parked a couple of cars down for me.
Yeah, he was just talking about that. So now, what kind of tires are you running on your car?
It's got Mickey Thompson's on it. Ran Hoosiers last year. They worked pretty well for me. So far this year, though, I think the Mickeys just work a little bit better on the car than the Hoosiers. Not to say the Hoosiers are a bad tire. The Mickeys just kind of fit it a little bit better and work a little better on it.
All right, now, what have you reached any milestones in your racing career yet?
I would say breaking into the eights for the first time was a pretty big milestone for me. That happened earlier this year. We took the car out a couple of times. First time on E85 and had some fuel delivery issues. And then we had a nostalgia gas race down at Gateway in St. Louis. I was hoping to have the car all sorted out by the time we got there. Didn't quite happen. We did a couple of things to it, hoping that was going to fix the problem. We got down to Gateway, and it did indeed fix the problem. And the car went right down into the eights. No problem.
All right, now, throughout your drag racing career so far, have you had any accidents or near accidents at all?
Yeah, I've been fortunate enough, knock on wood, not to have any accidents all the way through yet. Had a couple of close calls. Launched the car last year. I was up at Union Grove. I was over in the right lane, launched the car, went off to the right. Got out of it. Probably didn't wait quite long enough to get back in it to try to chase the guy down. Still kind of off in the marbles a little bit, stomped the gas again, and it picked the front end up in the air again on the second smack. And, I had to get back out of it because it was doing the same thing, kind of trying to drift towards the wall. Had to lift it. Came down pretty hard and banged up the headers pretty good, so got to build a new set of those.
So now, October 13th, you got your final event for the Pro E85 group, so you're going to be out there with those guys?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. The car's in the trailer right now, ready to rock and roll, ready to break some hearts, I hope.
Yeah, I was looking forward to seeing you guys at the Union Grove, but they canceled the streetcar brawl, so man, it's kind of far for me to drive out there, go over 2 hours. The Grove.
Yeah, 41 is a great track. I know from my house, it's not incredibly far, like time-wise. It's a little bit of a windy path to get there. But once you get there, it sure is a nice track. It's got a real nice long shutdown area. You definitely don't have to worry about packing the parachute between rounds there. Plenty of room to slow down. The track's got plenty of bike too, so it should be a real good show.
Yeah, I got the wife and I live about 30 minutes from Great Lakes. So,
okay, yeah, it's nice and close.
Yeah. Now you ready for the fun questions?
Sure. Hit me.
Now, if someone were to come up to you and give you $200 million to build a brand new drag race track, where would you consider building this new track, and what kind of features would you want to put into a brand new drag racing track?
Well, it's tempting to build one right here in Illinois. The problem with Illinois, though, is the racing season is painfully short.
Yeah.
So I would say, maybe someplace like Southern California. Find a nice open area, if one still exists down there somewhere, where you can rebuild that or build that up. Make something similar to what like Lions drag strip and things like that were, back in the older times. Someplace where you can race pretty much year round. That'd be the ticket for me. Breaks my heart to put the car away in the winter. I think as far as features go, it's a hot place. Some of those tracks that have like cooling systems on the starting line are pretty fascinating to me. I think that's a pretty neat feature. All the amenities. There's been some tracks that we've gone to over the years that are, bathrooms are a little bit on the ramshackle side. So I definitely want to have some nice bathrooms and things like that, so that you're not hesitant to go in there.
Right. Now what about the covered grandstands? To keep the sun out from the fans.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good idea. That's definitely a must. I think the worst sunburn I ever got in my life was at Route 66 Raceway in Joliet one year for the NHRA race. I was hurting for a couple of weeks after that.
Yeah. All right, now let me ask you this question. With this Pro E85 guys, do you have a greatest competitor?
Greatest competitor, I would say the guy that wiles me up the most and that I go after real hard is probably Johnny B. He's definitely, was the champion last year for a reason, leading the points this year for a reason. The guy's good. And if Johnny leaves on you, you're done. You might as well just go ahead and get out of the throttle now, because he's going to get you. He's definitely a pretty tough competitor, but, really all those guys are great to run with. And the reason I say that is because any one of them, if you've got a problem, if you break something, they're digging through the cabinets in their trailer to loan you parts and give you what you need to make the next round. Doesn't matter if you're racing against them or racing somebody else. They're just a great group of guys to run with.
That's awesome. So now, have you won any trophies, awards, plaques, anything throughout the years?
Still working on it. When I do the Gasser events, it's more of an exhibition thing. Just kind of go out and run, put on a show, so we're not really in a competition. Still working on it. October 13th, ask me that question again, and I'll be able to tell you about how I won at 41 the last race of the year.
All right, now, here's the easy question. What's your favorite food you like to eat?
I'm a Chicago guy, man. Pizza, all the way. Deep dish Chicago-style pizza.
So what do you like on your pizza?
Cheese and sausage. Yep. I'm a simple guy. I'm a pretty picky eater, so my options are pretty limited with what I'm going to do. Frustrates the heck out of my life when we're ordering pizza or something like that, but yeah, kind of plain Jane, cheese and sausage.
All right. Now, if you and your wife have time to go on vacation getaways, you guys have a favorite vacation getaway spot?
Yeah, we've taken a couple of vacations over the years. We were fortunate enough one year. I had a different job. I used to travel a lot, so my wife would come with me or meet me there. A couple of years ago, we went to Southern California, down to Pomona for the NHRA finals.
Oh, nice.
That was a pretty neat trip. I think probably my favorite one that we ever took, we went to Lake Havasu. I happened to be working in Phoenix. She came out, met me. We drove out to Lake Havasu, which is a fantastically cool drive from Phoenix out to Havasu. My cousin Scott, that I was talking about earlier, was racing the drag boat out there in the Lucas Oil event. And we spent a few days on Lake Havasu. That was really a fun trip. I think she'd probably choose the same thing. If we were going to take a trip anywhere, we'd probably do Lake Havasu again.
Okay. Now, what's your favorite beverage to drink?
Favorite beverage to drink? If I'm driving the race car, if we're at the races or something like that, I like Gatorade. Red Gatorade specifically. Used to drink pop like crazy. I actually quit drinking pop about a year and a half ago. But before that, Pepsi was my favorite. if I'm not in the race car, if I'm kicking back on a Saturday night enjoying a bonfire, nothing like an ice cold Miller Lite.
All right, now, what's your favorite movie of all time?
Favorite movie of all time? That's an easy one. The Big Lebowski.
Favorite music to listen to?
Classic rock.
Classic rock. Like, what's your favorite classic rock band?
Pink Floyd, all the way.
Now, what do you think about AC/DC?
I love AC/DC. I have to tell you, Thunderstruck, if I'm in the staging lanes trying to get hyped up, sometimes I'll pop the earbuds in and crank some AC/DC, crank up Thunderstruck, loud as it'll go, and, get myself worked up.
Yeah, I remember one, I don't know if you remember back years ago when the jet cars, when they used to have Fran Pepper used to drive jet car up there. They used to play Thunderstruck all the time when she came to the starting line.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a fitting song for drag racing somehow. It just works.
Yeah. So now, do you watch TV shows at all?
A little bit. We definitely watched. I'm a big Street Outlaws fan. Wife and I actually went to Joliet a few weeks ago when they ran that No Prep Kings race. That was an awesome show. It's probably my favorite show because it's about drag racing and about cars.
Right. Now, how about growing up? Did you have a favorite TV show growing up?
Other than Street Outlaws, favorite TV show, probably Family Guy. I watch that, all the time.
Now, what was your favorite cartoon growing up?
Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo when I was a little kid, and then Beavis and Butthead when I was a teenager.
There you go. So when you're at the track, do you eat a lot, or do you eat a little bit and then eat a lot after the races are done?
For some reason, when I'm at the track, I'm hungry constantly. All I want to do is eat. Kind of finally realized this year that maybe that wasn't the best thing to do. Maybe a little lethargic and slowed me down. So towards the end of the year, I kind of laid off on that and tried to wait till we were done racing, if we were eliminated or whatever, to finally fire up the grill and cook some burgers up.
Yeah. Now, Joe, if you weren't a drag racer, what do you think you'd be doing?
Man, if I wasn't a drag, I don't even want to think about that. I can't think about life without drag racing. I just can't imagine it. There's really no other hobby that I've ever had that I've had as much passion about as I do about drag racing. I think about it constantly. It's definitely the biggest, other than family and work and things like that. It's definitely a motivating force in my life. I can't imagine doing anything else.
So now, do you have any kids?
I do. Yeah, I've got 3 kids. I've got a daughter, Haley, who is 20 years old. She's recently became a paramedic. Very proud of her on that. My son William is 16 years old, and then my son Eric is 14 years old.
Now, do any of them like drag racing?
Yeah. William is by my side constantly. Until he got into girls, he got a girlfriend and everything. You know how that goes. But by my side constantly, while we were putting the car together and running the car, helps out a ton on it. My son Eric, like I said earlier, when he's able to come with us, he goes to the track and enjoys it with us. And my daughter Haley, she's older, she's kind of getting her own life going and things like that, busy with work. When she's able to, she makes it out to the track. She was able to come out and meet us at the World Series of Drag Racing in Cordova this year and hang out. That was great having her there.
Now, do you think William ever do any drag racing?
I think he will. I think he will. If when the time comes, maybe one day he may take over in the 56. Who knows? Maybe we'll build him a car of his own.
Sounds good. Now, what would you consider to be the fondest memory of your whole drag racing career?
It's a tough one. Definitely fond memories. Every time I got to go to an event, race with my dad, race against my dad with him in the other lane. That's always fun. I would say one of the proudest moments when we did the Chases a Race flag start thing when the timing system was down. I drew Johnny B for first round and beat him. That was a pretty proud moment because, like I said earlier, he's a tough competitor. It was pretty proud of being able to take him out first round.
You took out Mr. Blanchard, huh?
Yeah, yep. Only time I've ever beat that guy.
Now, can you think of a most embarrassing moment you've had on the track?
I would say probably most embarrassing this year, the couple of events. Last event, the Nitro Street Car Blowout, broke the transmission, so I didn't really even get to make it the first round. But prior to that, the two events before that, I red lighted twice in a row in the first round. That was pretty embarrassing the first time. It was really embarrassing to do it again the second time.
Yeah, I can imagine. So now, how important do you think it is for the families to bring kids out and watch drag racing these days?
I think it's great. I think with the kind of the changes that have taken place in drag racing over the last few years, kind of the door cars, the no prep style cars, things like that have drawn new people, new kids into the sport. Not to say that I've got the guts to quite go no prep racing and risk banging the car up like that. But it's definitely kind of re-energized the sport, things like that, and gotten new people into it and kids into it. And it's given them something to do as well, and something to pour their time and money and resources and things like that into. And there's so many much more worse things that they could be doing than going out and having a good time in the race cars. So I definitely say it's a big deal. The more the merrier. That's why the Pro E85 group does that, that parade lap after first round to stop and talk to the kids and hand things out. I know my wife and I, every time we go to the track, we kind of prepare for that. We buy some bags of candy, things like that, to try to hand out to the kids and make them remember their trip to the drag strip so they want to keep coming back, things like that.
Yeah, and it's good. It's good to see a lot of junior dragsters out there these days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. That's a fantastic program to get them into it early and get them good at it early. So bringing them up to it.
Yeah, you never know. One of those kids could be the next John Force or Brittany Force, whatever.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right. Well, I want to thank you very much for taking time to do an interview, Joe.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Now, do you have any final words, thank yous, anything you want to give out before we're done?
Yeah, definitely. I got to give big thanks to my wife for putting up with all the long hours of working on this car and getting it prepped and ready, and all the support she's given me over the years to really make it happen. My kids for everything that they've done and sacrificed to help support the family racing team. William, Haley, and Eric, can't thank you guys enough. My dad's been a huge supporter as well as inspiration in life, things like that. I can't thank him enough. Skip at R&R Engineering for, like I said before, all the times he's dropped everything he had going on to help me finish whatever it was I broke last week and help me make the next race. Definitely huge thanks to all those guys.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you again for taking time to do an interview, Joe.
Thank you, sir.
And you have a great night and a great weekend.
You too.
And I wish you the best of luck at the last race on the 13th.
Yeah, we're going to give it all we got.
All right. You have a good night.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.